In 2025, should you get the Quest 3 or the Quest 3S? Or should you not even get any of these and wait for the Quest 4? Stick around because we're going to be talking about all of it. Let's get right into it. So if you're watching this and you've never played Quest before, let me tell you something. You can't go wrong with either one of these headsets. The amount of things that they can do, the full color pass-through, and the games that are being made for both of these are really cool. Now, there are some differences, but I will start off by saying that if you've never played VR before, both of these are amazing options for you. Before I get into either of these headsets, I do want to talk about the Quest 4 and if you should wait to get one, because supposedly it was coming out in 2026. Well, I think it got pushed back even further, or it's on the back burner. So I think if you get either one of these right now, mid-2025, or even around the holidays of 2025, you should be a-okay, and there's still going to be a lot of great updates and games for these. So when it comes to both of these headsets, I'm not going to be deep diving too much into the specs. I'm going to be talking about my experience with both of these because they've been out for quite a while and I've played both of them for a long time. And clearly, I'm going to be honest, right from the jump, the one I love the most has to be the Quest 3. And if you're watching this video and you decide what Quest you want, go ahead, look at the link down in the description below because I have put both of them in there. If you buy from the link, you will be supporting the channel and I would appreciate that greatly. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to these two headsets has to be the outside, but first the weight. So technically the Quest 3S is lighter than the Quest 3, but whenever I'm wearing it and when it comes to being more comfortable, the Quest 3 definitely wins this round. I think it's because it's just slimmer up in the front and the weight distribution. Even though I have a head strap on this one, whenever I had the default strap that it came with, it still felt a lot better to game with compared to this one right here. Now, also, another difference when it comes to these two headsets on the outside is that the Quest 3 actually comes with a headphone jack right there on the side, whereas the Quest 3S does not have a headphone jack. That is not too big of a deal because they both do have Bluetooth capabilities. So if you want to pair a headset or some headphones to your Quest 3S, you have that option. You also have it on the 3, but I will say having a headphone jack is pretty nice, especially if you get a head strap that has built-in headphones. You could just plug it in and it's a lot easier than having to go through Bluetooth and connect the whole thing. Very small thing, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but for me, I just prefer having a little headphone jack there. And with both headsets, you have the power button on the left-hand side, so that one you just click on there. But one thing I do prefer when it comes to the Quest 3S is the fact that it has a mixed reality button. So you push this button down at the bottom, you can see your space around you, and it goes into full color pass-through of the environment that you're in. Whereas with this one, you don't have a physical button on the Quest 3. You have to tap the side and then it takes a couple of times to do and then it does the same function. But personally, I would much rather have a physical button like on the Quest 3S than having to continue to tap and get the right spot of the headset like on the Quest 3. Let me know down in the comments below what you prefer, but like I said, I definitely prefer that more on the Quest 3S. Now, everything else is pretty much the same except for the lenses, and I will say the Quest 3, the lenses on there are perfect, especially when it comes to adjusting them. So with the Quest 3, all you have to do is actually turn this notch right here and you'll be able to adjust the lenses to wherever you want to. Now, when it comes to the Quest 3S, you have the same lenses as the Meta Quest 2 had. So when it comes to adjusting it, it's the same thing. You just have 3 notches that you can pick through. You can't really find that sweet spot like you can with the Quest 3. And when it comes to the lenses on both of these, I will say the field of view is way better on the Quest 3. And like I said, the Quest 3S has the same lenses that the Quest 2 had. The Quest 3 has these new pancake lenses, so yes, adjusting is a lot easier, but the field of view when playing games is so much better. When it comes to the field of view, that's what just makes you feel more in the game, and it makes gameplay so much fun, especially with how comfortable the Quest 3 is. The gameplay on that is fantastic. But before we talk about more of the differences, I do want to talk about our sponsor today, my favorite wallet brand, Ekster. Now, if you're in the market for a new wallet or you know somebody who is, I definitely think you should go with this brand right here because they have changed the game when it comes to wallets. Not only does every wallet they have offer RFID protection, it's also very compact, looks super sleek, and it's extremely durable. Now, I've owned an Ekster wallet for about 1.5 years now. I got another one just because I love my first one so much, and this is a brand that I absolutely love. If you want to go ahead and get one, I have a link in my description below, and on top of that, if you use my code RENDONE, you'll get an extra percentage off on top of whatever the discount is, and you'll be helping out the channel, so that would mean a lot. Also, if you do want to help out the channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Anyways, let's talk about the pros. Now, even though the Quest 3 has all these other benefits when it comes to comfort, when it comes to the lenses, the one area where I think it falls short has to be the battery. Now, when it comes to the Quest 3S, I feel like the battery lasts a lot longer compared to my Quest 3. My Quest 3, I have to consistently put it on the charger, hence why I got this head strap right here, because you actually have a battery pack in the back, and once that runs out, sometimes I'll hook my other battery pack like in my backpack and just slide it up to the headset. Whereas with the Quest 3S, I feel like I don't have to charge it as much, and the battery lasts a lot longer on here, at least from what I've noticed, compared to the Quest 3. So when it comes to battery life, the Quest 3S definitely wins that round. Also, another thing when it comes to the lenses and being inside the headset, especially in mixed reality, because both of these offer full color pass-through, which is just amazing and something that the Quest 2 never offered. But one thing I will say is it's exactly the same. At least for me personally, I feel like being inside both of these in mixed reality is exactly the same. I know technically the Quest 3 is supposed to be better, but to me they look exactly the same. Alright, let's move on. Next thing I want to talk about has to be the price. So when it comes to the Quest 3, you are looking at about $600 for 512 gigs of storage. The Quest 3S, you're looking at $300 starting at 128 gigs. Before getting this, I do want to say it's beneficial that you have space. If you get one of these instead of getting an Xbox or a PS5 and you have no space, you are not going to have that much fun with it. You need at least an open area space, whether it's like part of your room or something like that. Space is a necessity when it comes to this. I know I just have to say it because I have some people, I've talked to some people and they're like, oh, it's not that great, but they're using it at their desk on the computer, which is fun. But if you have a wide open space, you can really have fun with all the games on both of these devices right here. Anyway, back to the price. Now, this is where your preference comes in. If you're somebody who has never played VR before and you want to dip your toes into it, I definitely say go with the Quest 3S, because even though it's not the highest tier, you are still gonna have a great time, and the amount of things that this thing is capable of is extremely fun. The games that are coming out are fun, like Batman Arkham Knight, great game, won Game of the Year last year, one of the best games. What I like to do is play multiplayer with my friends, like playing Contractors or Ghost of Tabor. Games like that, especially with teammates, is extremely fun and it's just wild. That's why I'm saying if you play this, I feel like you definitely need some space. Also, Beat Saber is one of the best games that you can play as well. Anyways, I'm talking about games now, but both of these are capable of doing so much. It's just up to your personal preference. Like I said, if you're somebody who's just starting out, I say get with the Quest 3S. If you're somebody who already has the Quest 2, like myself, I'm gonna be honest, get the Quest 3. Now, going from the Quest 2 to the Quest 3S, it doesn't feel like that big of a difference. But going from the Quest 2 to the Quest 3, you will notice a huge improvement. Now, I will say, if you're watching this and you have a Meta Quest 2, get the Quest 3. One thing that does suck though, is that all the accessories, well, most of the accessories on your Quest 2 will not work for the Quest 3. One, because the controllers are different, so you can't have your same controller holders. Two, the sides of the Quest 3 are just slightly bigger to where if you did have a head strap for the Quest 2, it won't work on the Quest 3. At least it didn't for me. I tried forcing it on and I didn't want to make it work. So I just left it the way it is. I didn't want to risk it and break my headset, but that is one con coming from the Quest 2 to the Quest 3. Besides that, everything else is amazing. Like I said, the games on here are just fantastic. So let me know what you think down in the comments below, which one you would get. Personally, I love the Quest 3. I feel like everything about it, how comfortable it is, the lenses, the field of view inside the game is just great. Like, yeah, you need a little bit more battery, but you can always get that with the head strap. But like I said, let me know down in the comments which one you prefer. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.